Here's a sample that we're going to create. It's for the World Wildlife Fund, and it's going to be an order form for their adoption kit. Granted, this World Wildlife Fund has many other options to choose from as far as the animals, but we're just going to create an order form for 8 just to give you an idea how to work with placement, working with tabs, working and creating tables, gridify, placing elements, alignment, etc. So we're going to go ahead and begin. The first thing you need to do is go to D2L and download the assets folder. I'll go and pull this down. Once you create a folder for the order form, download the assets folder, double click it to open and the compressed file, and then you've got this folder here. You can ignore this is just me in working order. All right, get this out of the way. Going to InDesign. We're going to go to File, New Document. Default works, okay. We can go to Print. And we're going to make sure we're in inches, 8.5 by 11. No facing pages. We're just having one page, so start pages 1. No primary text frame, 1 column. Margins are going to be 1/2 inch all the way around. Bleed is going to be 0.125, 1/8 of an inch. Mandatory for any element that extends off the edge of the paper. Hit create. Okay, so if you do not see all of the guides, you might need to change your view. Going to view, screen mode, preview. I don't want you to work this way. When placing elements is a great thing to see how it's going to look when it's completed. So flipping back and forth is kind of nice. Again, view, screen mode, normal. We're going to make sure our alignment is just precise. Our column guides are here. We just have 1 column with our 1/2 inch margins and our bleed guideline to follow. All right, first thing I'm going to do is pull in the copy. So I'm going to File and Place. Locate your assets, text for order form, hit open, and with the loaded icon, I'm going to click and drag from column guide to column guide, clicking and dragging and placing this in here. Now it also will help when working with alignment, and any guides you have on here is the view. If I go into view and I go to, we won't go here yet, but guides and grids, I like the column guides locked, so if I pull something in, I can't accidentally click it and drag it in a different place. But I do want snap to guides and smart guides on here. So check, make sure those are checked. Okay, here's our text frame. Again, alignment all the way around. We're going to create a rectangle shape in here, dark, and then place the headline of the entire item in that dark rectangle. So grabbing just a rectangle tool, I'm going to go all the way and work with the bleed guidelines, and following my guides over here, I'm going to go to 5/8 of an inch down is where the placement is going to be in the document. So pulling this over here, again, go the bleed guidelines all the way around, following my ruler on the left, 5/8 of an inch. I'm just going to fill with a generic color. We'll change this later. I'll just go to a blue. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see, I'm going to move this for a second again. This is placed with the guidelines for the bleed because the color will extend off the page. And then I've got this at 5/8 of an inch. Because we set up our document, these rulers are in inches, but if you ever needed to, you can always right click on it and change it from picas, points to inches, etc. Okay, now going down just slightly, I'm going to take this copy right here, the headline. Come on, text tool, double click in there, click and drag. I'm going to cut it. So Command X or cut. And then I'm going to create a text frame all the way across from here. This is the document width, and paste in here. I'm going to make it all caps. I'm just using Helvetica for everything, but you can, choose a font that you think works well. Helvetica New. I'm going to bold this or black it. Okay. I'm going to make it larger. On the Mac, you can do Shift Command Plus. See now, okay, whoops. Automatically it works, but I gotta think about what keys I use. It gets a little confusing sometimes. So we're gonna do it this way. Let me undo what I did. All right, we're just gonna increase the size. And I don't like my leading. I always like to choose my leading too. But before I go too big, let's center this copy. And I'm gonna go up one more. I want it to fit the width of the actual live area, well, not the live area, but the column. So it's close. And I'm gonna go ahead and change my horizontal scale just slightly, just to fit it in there. Perfect. Okay. Now, if I move this up, I'm going to set it right on the line here, and I'm going to change this text to white. All right, so that is set. Just to eliminate any excess frames, I'm just going to click and drag that up, keep it nice and clean. Okay, over here, I'm going to double click. There's an extra space here. And if you're not sure, we can go turn this stuff on. Let's go to View, Extras, and show text threads. I don't have any threads right now. I'm thinking about something else. I will get back to that later. But let's go ahead and take this extra space out. And then I've got this in here, and I'm going to be moving it over somewhere in here. I'm not quite sure. And I do want to be in charge of formatting too, but I'll leave it as is right now because I want to bring in the graphic. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Place, and we're going to go get the logo, WWF logo, not that one, this logo, and I'm going to click and drag from, again, alignment, right here to about down in here. Let's see how it comes in. All right, so we've got the information placed, but I know by having completed this, this needs to all fit in the top 2 inches. So I'm going to click in my ruler and drag down a rule line, and it's got to be inside that 2-inch mark. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag. And I'm holding down the Shift, Option, Command key on the Mac and pull this up here a little bit. Move it over slightly to align the logo with the column guide, the margin guide. All right, now this text needs to be placed in here, and I do want to make sure it does not go below the logo here with the F. So I'm going to click and drag another rule, and this is where I'm going to align the baseline of this last line. So let's go back out again. The text actually fits in here, which is kind of amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and see what it is. 11 on 13.5. Well, I can make this bigger. I can't really make the text bigger because it's going to get kind of, let's just do it and see what happens. Okay, so that can work if that's what you want to do. This would be okay. And since I've got some space over here, let's just kind of make this come over here a little bit. Let's see what it looks like. Changing the view. Screen mode to preview. I really don't like the 12 points. Let's select this. We'll go down to 11. We'll add the more leading. Kind of give a little space, a little breathing room. Gonna turn the view back to normal. And let's just go ahead and move this down a little bit. So it's aligning on that rule. Pull this back over a little bit. Change my view. Screen mode preview. I like that a lot better. Okay, so that's looking pretty good now. Let's go and stop right here, and then we'll come in next and do the gridify and actually add the graphic elements in the top.